Welcome to another week of Orange Baptist Church Virtual Sunday School. This week I have a very special guest with us, and he's sitting right here. There he is. This is my puppy Gideon, and he is a cutie patootie. He has extra long ears. See how long his ears are? And for the most part, this is what he does. He sits on the couch and he sleeps all day long. But guess what? Sometimes he's not so sweet. Sometimes he gets a little bit ornery and he likes to follow his nose. Basset hounds have really good noses. Their noses are thousands of times better than our noses. And so if I walk in the door and I have pizza, guess what? He knows it pretty much when I'm outside, and he is ready to eat it because he loves pizza. I think it's his favorite food. So what I have here is Gideon's leash. And the reason that I have this leash is because, like I said, for the most part, this is what he wants to do. But when we go on walks, I take it and I wrap this around his body, and then I take the leash and I hook it onto it. And what that does is the leash keeps me from losing Gideon. So one of the reasons that you want to keep a dog on a leash when you walk him around, especially if you live where we live, which is in town, is because it can be really dangerous if he's off on his own. If he decides to run after an animal that he smells, or a trash can that he thinks he wants to get into, or something like that, it could be dangerous. He could get hit by a car, or he might try to eat something that's not good for his belly, and it could really, really make him sick. So when I keep this leash on him, not only does it help me give him a nice, good, healthy walk, which is what he needs, but it also keeps him safe from getting hurt. So the reason I wanted to talk about this is because our story from the Bible today has to do with that. Our verses this week come from the book of Romans, chapter 8. And in it, Paul writes a letter, and this is what it says. It says, "To my friends in Rome, life can sometimes be difficult, and we understand that, but we also know that God loves us and is planning good things for us. Even when we go through hard times, we can remember that God's love is always with us. Is there anything that can take us away from his love? Absolutely not. I want you to know that nothing can get between God's love and us. Can trouble separate us from God's love? No way. Can hard times separate us from God's love? No way. Can bullies separate us from God's love? No way. Can scary times separate us from God's love? No way. I am certain that there is nothing in all creation that can separate us from God's love. Your friend, Paul." Those words are so reassuring because it lets us remember and know that no matter what, no matter if we do something bad or we do something that is hurtful, that God will never, ever, ever stop loving us. He will always be our Father. He will always love us no matter what we do. And that is the best message of hope we could ever have. So just like when I put a leash on Gideon, I can keep him with me and make sure that he's protected and loved and he can't separate from me because I love him and I want to make sure that that he's safe. It's similar to how God sees us. Now, God does not have us on leashes. We're not being led around by God. But what it's supposed to show you is that we're connected with him. When we accept him into our life, we become connected with God, and he can't separate from us. He will always be right there beside us, leading us and guiding us and showing us what to do when things might get hard or scary or dangerous. And he is the best comforter of all. So he will be there to help you through it. I hope you're encouraged by that. I know I am. Okay, so this week we're going to be making a pop-up memory verse cup. So you're going to need a red Solo cup, some paper, a black Sharpie, glue, scissors, and then you can either use straws or popsicle sticks or chopsticks or even a regular straight stick from your yard, just something that can hold a little piece of paper on it, okay? You could also use tape instead of glue. I think I'm going to be using tape instead of glue since I'm not using a popsicle stick but a straw. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your red Solo cup and you're going to take your Sharpie and you're going to write, "Can anything separate you from God's love?" And we know from our Bible memory verse that no, nothing can separate us from God's love. So the next step is to draw hearts on a piece of paper and cut them out and write the word "no" with an exclamation point on it. Now the way I cut hearts is simple. I take my piece of paper and I fold it in half, and then on the crease side I take my scissors and I just cut half of a heart. So you want them about this big and you open it up and look, you've got a heart. So I'm going to do 2 of those. Next, you'll take your heart and you're going to write "no" on it. And you want to make that nice and big so everybody can see it. Like this, capital letters, "no." Then you're going to tape or glue or whatever your heart that says "no" to your straw. So now my heart is attached to my straw, and I'm going to take my cup and put a hole in the bottom so that my straw can go down through the hole. And kids, you're going to need an adult or a parent or someone to help you cut the hole in the bottom of the cup. So now I have the hole in the bottom of my cup, and I'm going to take my straw with my "no" on it, and I'm going to stick it down in the cup like that. So see how it's hanging underneath? And then you could say, "Can making a mistake and lying to my parents separate me from God? No! Can being mean to my friend separate me from God? No!" So that just helps us have a fun way to remember that nothing can separate us from God's love.